Alright, what is going on, everybody? And here. And I'm going on a little bit of a walk. So, before I get started, make sure you like the video and you hit and comment, make walking porn. That's right, make walking porn. Shouts out to Tentacle, Croissant, and Pierre Excel for an inspiring video. But porn is kind of like a male robot. It's kind of like a male robot that just gives you what you want and then tells you to get the fuck out. So it's kind of like it spits shit out at you and it tells you, hey, this is what you want. You want, cocks. And, you want big butts. And then it just basically says, thank you for using us. It doesn't even say thank you for using it. It just says, okay, go away now. And it's kind of like really upsetting because it's killed all the metaphor and nuance in everyday life. And there's just no reference material anymore to actually like inspire a romantic interaction with someone else. Like my daily habits consist of going out in public and trying to talk to people and to try to not to be as sexual as I can, but to be as discreet as I can about every bit of information. Because at this point, that's all we have as a society is just that's what we cling to. It's basically nuance, and it's sad that we have to, and that we can't. Like every part of metaphor now just assaults your senses, and it's all just way too rugged, and it offends too many people. And like if I were to say life is a bitch, like a lot of people would get offended by that in this day and age because critical gender theory or critical race theory says something about what the word bitch means on a pathological basis and shit. It's just, there's no nuance in the metaphor anymore. It's either, people look at your political tilt to understand your poetry. And it should be the other way around. Especially with like Americans, it's something that just blows my mind. And I always say it too, because like girls just seem to be too smart. Like I always say, like no woman is dumb enough to be with me, which is sad. But it's like I'm burning myself on my joint. But it's just like, it's a shitty thing that we all kind of couch because of feelings and whatever. But meanwhile, like everyone pretends like heterosexual reproduction is like the reason why humanity's on Earth, and we never really get outside of that. I mean, the reason why like most people do anything now is just so sterilized and robotic. It's like there's no real like ebb and flow to anything anymore. There's no brush strokes. There's no painting. There's no like depth of field. Everything has just become like a 2D side scroller, and quite frankly, I'm not really much of a Castlevania fan or a fan of vampires. But that's really what seems to thrive nowadays, and it's sad. Or fighting games. And it's just, there really isn't. Don't get me wrong, I mean, like, getting through life is still a fun process. It's just, it's fun in the way that, there's always something to do, but to just go on a walk and just to see nature and stuff is no longer appealing for people. Like, if you have to ask where we're going on this walk, you might as well just give up on life, because you're not going to know your destination 100% of the time. And it's just stuff like that that just blows my mind about people. Pardon me, Jets. My joints having a trouble lighting, but yeah, there's just like so much now trapped in our heads that we compartmentalize that, like, I don't see us actually forming close bonds with anyone. And there really isn't anything that I feel comfortable publishing on my site that sounds like complete bullshit. But yet I understand this and I do it anyways, because I'm an influencer. I have to do shit that I don't want to do, because I have to understand. Because who is going to project an aura of understanding in this culture without risk of being canceled or arrested for protesting or voicing or speaking. And lately what I've been doing is just destroying a lot of people's truths, which is kind of evil, but I guess I condone doing it since I do it myself. And it's because, like, I hate the idea of going on and on, especially when it comes to a political agenda. Like, to me, politics is a thing of, like, the higher classes, and when they go to war, it's like they're looking to end the war as quickly as possible. But in this culture, it's like war is profitable, and so anything that you can do, like the whole Steven Crowder thing, like the fact that Steven Crowder got called out by H3H3 was just like surprising. Like, and most of the people that follow H3H3, like, they don't even know who One Direction is. I mean, they're too young to even know who One Direction is. I mean, when I figured that out, I would just, like, felt super old. But I also thought, like, a lot of our reference material is in the unconscious. Like, when you get a nasty comment, you pretty much aimed at you pretty much get into, like, freaking barbarian mode, a lot of us. It's like kill or be killed. And yeah, I notice a lot of people just fall on their sword in the comments, and they don't really think twice about it. And it's like, you're not alone when you're typing. You're not alone when you're thinking. You have everybody's thoughts that you've absorbed, inside your head. And it's just like, to see people get out of the soapbox in the comments it's just wild to me. But for me, being a content creator, it's almost like a second stomach, Like, I get sick of posting videos, but then I comment. Then I get sick of commenting. I start posting videos again, and eventually I get sick of posting the videos, and I go back to lurking in the comments. It's just kind of a natural progression. I think it's starting to rain. Huh. But that would be nice. That'd be kind of cool. Hold on. I want to get like a clearing or something so I can maybe see some of the raindrops starting to fall. But yeah, I don't know how much time this is going to give me on this video. But I just wanted to, test the audio with my phone, this phone. and just give you guys a little bit more walking porn. I'm really serious about that. Like, make walking porn again, because to me it's just like porn is just so boring, and like for me, a guy like me, it's necessary sometimes, because I try to escape any form of negative face. Like, I don't believe in risking how you look in public, like, especially if you're trying to be a peacock and stuff. I guess I'm just not that species of Pokemon or something. But still, I hate it. Like, if there was like a better alternative to watching porn, I would probably be doing it. But it's just like I don't know how to explain it, because like I do experience the ratcheting of the spectacle, I guess, with the pornography and stuff. Like, if you watch it, the more you watch it, the more you start finding other stuff. But it's still like, it's not like certain things that I've discovered I like overused, and I'm no longer stimulated by it. Like, it's like desensitization. I'm just not interested in it anymore. And yeah, and I don't really feel ashamed saying it, because I mean it's a pretty large experiment that everyone's aware of by now, and it's like Black Mirror, pretty much, at this point. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. The winds died down a little bit. That should be good. It's almost done. My joint's almost done. But yeah, I mean, it's in certain cases, it's just a better thing than going out and spending a shit ton of money. Now, like, there's people who like to spend money on pornography, which to me is just kind of like, it's kind of like speeding up. I guess you're trying to speed up the process, but then to me, this pornography is like, the more you pay for it, the better the quality gets, and the longer the duration of the videos get. So it seems counterintuitive to spend money on pornography, because effective pornography should take this small amount of, if it's like use value, should be taken seriously at all. If we really believe that, NoFap turns you into a psychotic, super testosterone maniac person, which, and this is all research. None of this reflects the views of Baron Yen at all. This is all just based on my own personal research, and like I said, the topical nature of the video. All likeness of people described in the video is purely coincidental and based on just the psychology of the person who's having the stream of consciousness at the time. And yeah, it's just kind of it's kind of counterintuitive to pay in to buy it. The more you buy into porn, the more you start to just be staring at a black screen, I guess, kind of. So, literally speaking, but also, I guess, figuratively speaking. So, like, getting in, you kind of like, it's something where if you actually invest currency into it, you get like a really good dose of self-knowledge. It might be something that is like immaterial about porn itself, or it might just be the actual instrumental act of, or instrumental observation of looking at yourself in the black screen while some, like, I guess a smut video loads and stuff, but like and it kind of the rain teased me a little bit, but it no longer, it's in droplets, but then it all of a sudden halts, which is weird. But yeah, I mean, where to go from there after, I mean, studying that, letting that kind of spin for a while, you kind of just have, you know, the idea of history then to really preponder. And I guess that's where a lot of people decide to go with the, you know, humanities, and try to turn this kind of like this modern day phenomena of, like, I can't even describe the feeling of watching porn. Like I said, I gave a pretty good illustration. It's like a large, muscular, robotic man just throwing dicks and butts and boobs at you with like exorbitant amounts of lubricant. And I don't know, man. Lube just like killed romance for me. Like, I don't like if somebody could have escaped this fate in my day and age, I would probably, you know, for lack of my understanding about, you know, my unconscious bias myself, like, I wouldn't want that person to have anything to do with me. I want them to be, like, you know, locked away forever. But even though, like, I find my speech is I'm capable of some discretion and stuff, I'm really not at the same time. And my conclusion about that is that my mind has been tainted by, like, this material effectiveness of communication, in that, and it's like, sometimes it's impossible for me to be esoteric about a certain subject, which is just like, it puts a great deal of, to me, I believe that, like, in communication, there's a great deal of opportunities to, you know, advance oneself, especially within, like, the bounds of your career and your vocation. And to me, my, like, mechanical way of getting to the point with my speech is just, it's a badger on my, you know, overall self-talk and my well-being as a person. Like, it's just rough. Like, I don't think anyone believes I'm disingenuous, but they just, you know, they can't, I lack the ability to communicate effectively in the variety of ways. But, like, people get me, people understand me, and, like, yeah, like, I like to leave people in their process alone. I don't like to relate what I go through to other people, because I feel like that's oppressive, and, like, because I really hated political discussion in academia, because I'm like, you know, they make fun of us for being useless intellectuals, but really, that's what intellectuals are supposed to be. We're supposed to be useless. I mean, the mechanics and the engineers and the builders and stuff of the world, they don't need philosophy. They don't need, you know, they need mathematics and to be educated, but they don't need to be, you know, in the head intellectual ponderer type people. They need to be get out of your chair and start moving type people. So in the way that a lot of social media people, funnily enough, post the motivational things where it's like, we all go through issues and your job is to overcome those issues. It's really not like a person who's a get up and move person that accomplishes all their issues gets nothing done. You know, whereas the intellectual person that accomplishes all their issues has hardly any time to ponder about their the issues that they should have, that they should embody, that they should, like, to be an intellectual is to be kind of scorned by society and turned in on oneself, to accompany oneself. You know, intellect means, like, you know, in the head, like, the head is like, you know, it was, as far as I'm aware, it was the first thing to really evolve away from the, like, the excrement side of the organism. So really, it's always been just the head and shit for, like, a really long time. In, like, evolutionary, is it evolutionary psychology or evolutionary biology? Whichever one. But it's just like, it seems like it's always been people who get shit done and people who get thinking done, processing done. And for me, intellectuals have become way too active in our community, and we haven't been ostracized enough. We've been invoked. We have had we've had the right of participation invoked onto us as intellectuals, which then just brings us into, like I said, this mechanical way of, I guess, regurgitating our purpose, which is not really meant to be spoken about in a social setting, and then we just have a lot of our identity robbed from us as a result. Like, there's really nothing that, unless you're, you know, trying to be a professor, it's kind of like, you know, you have to make your own community. And, you know, a community of intellectuals is supposed to be this Epicurean advance, but it really is just like a symbol of it just in the societal sense, it is just it's basically the Mouse Utopia experiments. If intellectuals form their own communities, it's pretty much spelling the end of the you know, whatever it is, the hierarchy or whatever, because, you know, that's basically the inception of free thought. If a person out of a group of organisms, if an organism out of a group decides to start forming communities of separate individuals, it's kind of like no longer, it's kind of like adapted. It's had to adapt. And that's what I don't think intellectuals are able to do with their time, is like really adapt. I mean, we're pushed into this entrepreneurial, like, creative intellectuals, like I said, not kind of like mechanical intellectuals, like engineers, people who, you know, do things with their hands, mechanics, but like sort of creative intellectuals. We've been kind of like pushed into this entrepreneurial category of human, which again is just like this resource hound. And like I said, it's just so time consuming that it's like I can balance it, but it's just like, you know, when do I have time to actually like think about stuff? I mean, it is just a problem that no one has the time to really think about and consider, which presents to me as a real danger. Like, if a problem just evades people's communication, that's a significant factor in our existence that will quite possibly never be solved, at least not by us as a people. And, you know, I'm saying all this because it's like, whenever you're watching Smut or something, you're just like, I guess you're being given a blank canvas to project those feelings onto. And it can turn into pretty much whatever want it to be at the end of the day. You know, some people, I'm just like, I look at them and I'm like, they should have the freedom to you know, pursue anything that they desire, even if it's like at a great harm to themselves. But, you know, when will I be granted, carte blanche to form my world in such a way? You know, it's just amusing, and it's just, I mean, it's ridiculous. But then it's like, here we are, we find ourselves, and if you do manage to find yourself, you'd be embarrassed. I mean, a peeping Tom lives a perverted lifestyle in pure bliss, and then he's caught, and then he's scapegoated for everything. He's blamed for everything wrong with society, because the interlocutor is this stressed out, mechanical beast, you know, that just throws sexual imagery at them, and oftentimes seizes them and restrains them with it. I mean, we talk about porn addiction, but kinks and handcuffs, and it's all tied into like our criminality that's been suppressed as a race. And the intellectual thrives on criminality because most of their life they live as a fugitive in their own head, because nothing that they say is ever examined with the proper tools. It's you just eyeball an intellectual and you send them on their way. There's nothing to really, there's no meat to bite into there, is what I would say. But overall, those are my thoughts on porn and everything. So I'm gonna leave it just as a video log and go about my day. I just thought I would come and give you guys a look. This was a pretty heavy video, and so please forgive me. I should have done a disclaimer at the beginning, which I did try to do right before, but yeah. But this has been me, Yam, Baron Yam, and if you feel like you can relate to the video or the scenery, just holler at me, and I'll talk to you guys next time. But I'm gonna go, because I don't know if I have a memory on my phone for this, or the free time to upload it.